Today I am headed out on a little bit of a 2-day road trip through Kansas. I think a lot of people might give Kansas a hard time because they think there's nothing out here. And I've lived here for 15 years now, and I always like going on seeing parts of Kansas that I've never seen before. So I think there's a lot of beauty in Kansas. It's not a mountainous place like I was just at in the Rocky Mountains, but it does have its own kind of beauty. And so I'm gonna take a little road trip, and one of the more fun things for me is to stop on little towns. Kansas has a lot of little towns and some odd, weird things, and so we're gonna see some of those things too. So most of the population of Kansas lives in the eastern third of the state, Kansas City, Wichita, that side. So we're gonna spend our time in the other 2/3 of the state and basically drive out towards Colorado and then circle back around till we get back to Wichita. So hopefully enjoy this little road trip through the state of Kansas. Just outside Lindsborg, this unusual mini castle was built on top of what is referred to as Coronado Heights in 1936 to commemorate the area believed to be the ending point for Spanish conquistador Francisco Vázquez de Coronado in his search for the 7 cities of gold in 1542. In 1915, a local professor found Spanish chainmail at an excavation site just south of this area to corroborate that story. The hill is one of 7 sandstone bluffs in the region and rises to around 300 feet. Rock City is a couple miles south of Minneapolis, Kansas, and contains around 200 of these large spherical boulders. Apparently, other ones like this have also been found in Utah and Wyoming. The internet says these sandstone rocks consist of 95% quartz and is tightly cemented by calcite. The internet also says a whole lot of other stuff that I don't really understand because I only got a C in geology. My interpretation is that these are some really awesome looking big rocks. Mushroom Rock State Park is the smallest state park in Kansas, only taking a few minutes to walk around. These unusual rock formations are sandstone and sedimentary rock held together by natural cement and were allegedly formed between 60 and 150 million years ago. Sculptor Samuel Perry Dinsmore started creating the Garden of Eden in Lucas, Kansas in the early 1900s and worked on it until he passed away in 1932. These sculptures reflect his views on the populist movement of the time, as well as his religious convictions. It's bizarre to walk around, and some of the art is amazing and creepy. Another rock formation created during the Cretaceous period is Monument Rocks. This was in the area called the Western Interior Seaway that split North America into two land masses. The rocks go as high as 70 feet and is well known for beautiful sunset photography. Monument Rocks was named one of the 8 wonders of Kansas and was the first landmark chosen by the U.S. Department of Interior as a National Natural Landmark. So I got a hotel room last second for $30 in Oakley, Kansas. We're gonna see what a $30 hotel room pays for. Okay. Not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Could be worse. I've seen a lot worse than this, and for $30, I'll take it. I'm about to go to bed. I'll see you tomorrow. Back on the road this morning, heading out of Oakley, Kansas. I talked to a couple locals and they told me that there's a couple places here I need to see before I go that wasn't on my plan, so that's okay, because that's what, you know, a good road trip is about. You make a little audible and then you go check out something that is recommended. I also heard that last night, and I didn't know this, that in Oakley there was a demolition derby, and I'm very disappointed that I didn't get to see the demolition derby in Oakley, Kansas. Little Jerusalem Badlands State Park covers 330 acres in Logan County, 220 acres of which feature these chalk badlands that has many narrow canyons. The white rock are likened to the walls and winding streets of ancient Jerusalem. Unfortunately, you can't walk down into the canyon, but you can take about a 2-mile walk around to see most of these visuals. This was one of the most pleasant surprises of my trip. Definitely glad I stopped by and took the hike. So I love driving through these little towns in Kansas, and for those of you that don't know me, I grew up on a farm in southern Ohio, and so these little towns are very much like what I grew up around. So I like driving through that, and I like to think about what these towns were like when they were settled. You know, a lot of these towns were settled in the Wild West in the frontier days, and to think about how people came across here and the harshness of this land and the weather out here in western Kansas is pretty interesting to me. So a lot of these towns have cool history, and some have a wild history, and I enjoy trying to find the downtown area and thinking about what that used to be, you know, 150 years ago when they were first maybe kind of rolling through here. This incredibly large and odd collection of folk sculptures were made by Myron Liggett, who passed away in 2017. Taking a close look at this art, it definitely shows Liggett was not a fan of many politicians as well as several women who had done him wrong. Nothing like creating hundreds of iron sculptures along the highway to get revenge. Originally built in 1887, Greensburg is home to the world's largest hand-dug well. After the devastating tornado of 2007, this modern visitor center was created and opened in 2012. The well is 109 feet deep and 32 feet in diameter. Don't tell anyone, but apparently there is a deeper one of these somewhere in Italy.